big difference between back in the day and now, right? Because back in the day, people that were close to the Tupac Biggie beef will tell you the media really twisted that.
Of
right?
course.
You would do an interview with the magazine, like The Source or something, and it would get written, and they would be like, I didn't say that, or they took that out of context. Now, there's nothing to take out of context because you lay it up at your house.
And you
go
go post it on Twitter.
You say it yourself.
No one's misquoting you. No one's doing anything. So if you say some crazy shit, it's because you fucking said it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it now, too, right? Like, there's no media twist anymore. It's, I'm a dumbass because I said some dumbass shit, or this is exactly how I feel.
Right.
And before it was like you had to wait till the new edition of The Source came out, or Double XL, and you're like, oh, who's beefing now? What's this?
Right.
But now you're just taking it, it goes through like an editor and a writer and so on and so forth, and for all you know, that's not even close to what was said.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you're getting it straight from the artist, so I think that obviously plays a part in it too.
For sure.
What about beef, like underground beef and industry beef? Do you think it's kind of the same, or do you think it's at different levels?
Again, when you're talking major industry, if you go at somebody with a big enough team behind them, you have to be ready to deal with more than just what that particular artist is going to say back.
Right.
Because you got the whole fans, right? I mean, we've seen it with shit. It's not even beef. Jay and Beyonce have relationship problems, and this whole B squad is like, fuck Jay-Z.
The Beehive.
Exactly.
Beehive.
The whole Beehive is on Twitter ready to fucking cut Jay's dick off. Right? Because these people go that hard for them.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
With the good hair? Who?
Exactly.
Where?
Yeah,
Becky,
yeah.
who
Let me
every
find
girl
that
named
bitch.
Becky had to hide.
Right, like people are for real out in the streets looking for somebody that they've never met because they did Beyonce. So I think the industry, there's just so many more things involved. When you're talking on an underground level or a local type of level, that one is a little bit more like man versus man type of situation.
Definitely.
Like, yo, this is my beef. I'm going to put it on a track and let people think what they want to think. And if you respond, you respond. But again, there's levels to it, man. If you go at a certain person, you could do one of two things. You could either make somebody that has no fans all of a sudden have fans because they're like, yo, who's this guy talking about?
Right.
And now they go and check out that person's music. So that could backfire because you're going at somebody that's below you.
Right.
And now all of a sudden they got some fans.
Definitely.
Or, again, it could be vice versa where you go at somebody and now forever in your career, you're known as the guy that beefed with that guy.
Right.
Exactly.
That could be a bad thing, too.
For sure.
Right? So I think underground is a little bit different.
Than industry
I think it's a little bit closer to than what we're used to as far as getting on wax.
Right.
Because not everybody has millions of followers, right?
Definitely.
So if I got beef with another DJ and I post some shit on Twitter, maybe a couple hundred people see it. Big fucking whoop-de-doo.
Right.
Like, who gives a fuck about what DJ Coast is tweeting? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if I get into a club and me and some other DJ are fucking DJ battling and people are there, that could be something different.
Definitely.
Same thing with rappers, right? I mean, you get on wax and you make a good enough song, that shit could carry you. That could make that could really give somebody a boost.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And it could definitely knock somebody down.
Right.
And we've seen that too. I think if you saw somebody like Kendrick or Cole or Dave East or somebody that's super, super lyrical come out and just go right at Drake out of nowhere and just completely annihilate him.
Yeah.
Drake might have a little bit of problems there.
Right,
Because people are like, wow.
You need at least 3-4 tracks ready before you go after Drake.
And you got to do it like I know it. You got to like
it's got to be a sneak attack.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like you were just with him last night. You dropped this track on him today.
And also, it probably wouldn't hurt to grease some of his ghostwriters and be like, yo, dog, I need you to stay out of this.
Yeah, exactly. Please come
Here
over.
go a couple $100,000. I need you to shut up for a second. Let Drake respond. Don't you?
Not you.
Sure.
All right, well, let's talk about that when we come back because the man of the hour, Kid Vegas, is in the building, and he is actually pretty well known for a beef with another local talent, Trev Rich. We're going to get into it because it is kind of old news, but people still in Colorado
it's still relevant.
Talk about it. Talk about it. So we're going to talk to Kid Vegas when we come back, but right now we have another brand new song, Mike Skillz and JD. The song is called Mistakes. Let us know how y'all feeling this one when we come back. We're talking to Kid Vegas. Don't go anywhere. It's the Spot, DINGS&COS Radio.
You are listening to DINGS&COS Radio.
Everybody makes mistakes, and we has a story, let me tell mine. Alcohol consuming ever since I can remember when I picked up my first drink. Doing lines of cocaine before 13. The black sheep can't sleep cause I'm that deep. No love in the world in the back streets. Just a kid trying to follow what I had seen. No daddy, good mom who really had me. And I left mom hanging. Life was a bad dream and I just keep praying. Friends really ain't friends, mom kept on saying. Cuffed up so young, now I'm locked up aging. And I still didn't figure it out. Headed south down a route that got me looking for help. Full of mistakes that I hate, I won't say that I'm proud. I did things I didn't like, so I'm smoking an ounce. Now, let's just bounce.
Everybody makes mistakes, and we all got secrets deep down bottled up, safe. And we all do different things to cope some way, and we just keep carrying on till it dissipates. Till it dissipates. And we just keep carrying on till it dissipates.
Live in a society where sobriety is uncommon, where love is a problem and violence is applauded. Nobody's honest, our bodies are filled with toxins. Hypocritical thoughts got us boxed in, looking for a way out and we running out of options. These reality checks got us in debt, so we back to robbing. On the corner plotting, Glock talk in the hood is starving, no bargain. These hoodlums are heartless. Regardless, I'm just trying to free my mind in a world full of darkness, trying to be the light. Not trying to preach, but someone needs to teach the blind. If one man can see, then we can all have sight. A path driven by pride and accident every time. If you lack the effort, you will never get it right. You can never go wrong if you get up and try. So go hard till the day that you die. That's right, yeah, yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes, and we all got secrets deep down bottled up, safe. And we all do different things to cope some way, and we just keep carrying on till it dissipates. Till it dissipates. And we just keep carrying on till it dissipates.
You are listening to DINGS&COS Radio.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Spot DINGS&COS Radio. That was another brand new jam from Mike Skillz and JD. Song is called Mistakes. Let us know how y'all feeling that one. Vegas, you was bopping to that
Man,
one.
I like that, man. That hook was crazy. I love that music. I love that vibe. Love that real sensual vibe.
Vito, you fucking with that?
I liked it. I really liked how he added the female to there.
Yeah,
Okay.
And he has the rap skills, and he does usually, I hear more of the spitting kind of style, so it's really nice to hear a different style from him. So awesome.
Okay. Well, like I said, guys, let us know what you guys think in the Spreaker chat. We want to know if you was feeling the new Mike Skillz track. As you know, now that we've played it, it's in rotation. So all you got to do is keep tuning in every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, requesting that shit, and we will get it on. Shout out to Mike Skillz. He's up in the Spreaker chat right now. We see you, dog. And,
good work,
shit,
good
it
work.
looks like everybody else is fucking
Everyone's
with it, too.
loving
So
it.
Good work,
The
fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, fire
definitely.
sound, fire.
All right, man. So we got Kid Vegas in the building.
Yes, sir.
And like we said, we were just talking about some beef.
Right.
And I wouldn't say it's how you got popular, but there are a lot of people that maybe weren't familiar with your music before the beef with Trev Rich.
Right.
So why don't you give us just a little bit of history, man? How did this whole thing kind of start?
I mean, you know, it really goes back to roots. Like, a lot of those squizzy guys I grew up with. Like, Priest, his mother is my mother's best friend. Like, literally, I've known these guys from... My mom taught us all how to sing. You know what I mean? AP, that's like my cousin. Like, not my blood cousin, but, like, literally, like, family. Right. So the whole squizzy squad, I'm very familiar with. And the beef, I guess, initially started because, you know, I was in a position where... I was doing bookings for a talent agency out in Florida called World ENT. Okay. I put Trev Rich on a show with Waka Flocka. And, you know, some of the business was kind of not handled the right way. But, you know, besides that, you know, I had a live drummer on stage. Shout out to Rob's Tees. I actually got the idea from Waka Flocka. I seen him perform in LA a couple years prior to this. So I had the opportunity to perform with him, brought on the live drummer. That was one thing. I had another track called Trapping and Rapping at the time. That was like my main song. So, I caught wind of, people using my drummer. And then, I want him. He's like the Questlove of Denver. So, of course, I can't book him every night. I want him to be booking every night.
Right.
He's got to feed his kids. But I started catching the wind of not just Trev, but a lot of other artists that were kind of taking on the same formula, which is fine.
Right.
And then, I think the last point for me is when I seen it was like a show or a tour or something, and it was like called the Trapping and Rapping Tour.
Okay.
So, at this point, I'm like, all right, cool. It's like I'm not expecting nobody to support me. I'm not expecting anyone to, give me any push or give me any cookies for anything. But, it's kind of hard when people, they try to overlook you, but they copying everything that you're doing, or they're taking pages out of your books.
Okay. So
I made a comment like that on Facebook, and it was very, back to the trolling. I didn't troll anyone. I just made a comment and said, it's kind of funny to me that I'm not getting, honored for anything that I'm doing, but I'm seeing people taking pages out of my books.
Right.
Well, that started a whole social media swarm from artists and the Squeezy Gang and all these other
whatever. That can go, right?
And it happened quick. So literally within the next day, I'm getting all these comments. Trev's on my comments, posting out, and I'm like, look, if there's any issues, let's put it on wax.
Right.
And I left it alone. Well, I started getting calls maybe the day later. Calls from Atlanta. My guy Scorp Diesel called me. He out in L.A. He called me like, yo, Trev already got a record for you. So at this point, I didn't know what this record sounded like,
right,
but I knew that I needed to go to the studio. So from there, he actually had the diss track originally recorded first.
Okay.
He released his.
So, but let me ask you real quick. Do you feel like Trev had that already on deck? Or do you think he made it based off of...
No, I don't think he had it on deck. Okay. And let me rewind back to a certain part of the song, a story. There was a record called Wave that I did that was supposed to feature Trev and Ray Reed at the time.
Okay.
They did a concert called Wave at the time that headlined it at Bluebird.
Yep.
Yeah, so it kind of was like a coincidence of things coming together. Well, once I got that flack from them, instead of adding them to the record, I removed them from the record and released the record by itself.
Okay.
That was mistaken as my initial diss track.
Sure.
Which, if you listen to the record, I'm saying some things, but there's definitely not a diss record. Okay. I'm definitely just rapping. And so it was mistaken as a diss record. I'm getting these radio stations hit me up, Heat Live, all these, literally a lot of people. I was in Chicago at the time, and when we do interviews, Trev came back with his response, right? Because my track is being identified as a diss record.
And is that Anybody?
He released Anybody.
Yep.
So from there, I immediately went back to the studio. I did a record called Air 'Em Out. Now, it's not out. I took it down. It's all, whatever, all say to
You had it up at one point?
I had it up at one point.
Okay.
You took it down?
I took it down because really, I don't think what happened in this situation is people paid attention more to Wave than my actual diss record.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Right.
So, a couple months later, I ended up taking it down. I don't want it attached to me. But, at the time, it really turned into a beef. His squad versus my squad, Late Night versus Squizzy, all that. And we do a lot of business together in general. Squizzy Taylor DJs pretty much all of our events. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of politics that's involved. But, the beef came up. I think people taking more to, Trev's record, but it did do a lot for me. Like a lot of the OGs, pulled me to the side. And I don't think my problem is a lot of people supported me silently because they didn't want to
be involved.
Or they didn't want to, hey man, Trev's my guy, but you killed that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, bro, back down. And a lot of the OGs, Interstate, Ike, Young Doe, a lot of them hit me personally, was like, whoa, like, this record is crazy. You going in, but I just want you to die down because we're too close. Our camps are too close.
Right.
And there was never really a real beef. And that's one thing that I appreciate about Trev is we both